So it kind of begs the question then, what should we be looking for? Like, what would be the standard? What would be something that we could say, universally, these are traits, these are fundamental characteristics that we should be looking for when pursuing relationships of any kind of nature?
I think in order to answer that question, I would have to ask another question that digs even deeper. And that would be, why have relationships in the first place? What's the purpose of relationships? Why do we want relationships? Why do we long for relationships? Why have relationships? Why not just live and let live?
Wait, are we talking about relationships as in friendships in general?
In general.
Yeah. Okay, but so not a relationship with the opposite sex.
It could be that
too. A friendship.
Okay.
Yeah. We're human, and I truly believe God made us, to live in community. And so there's this innate thing in us that tells us, we want friendship, we want companionship. And so definitely, that's something that's built in. And how we express that is another question.
And to answer that, actually, we would need to go to the Bible to answer that.
True.
Because we know that this is the source of why we're even here, why do we even exist. This is where we can get answers to those why questions. So why is it that we have this innate desire for relationship? And I think it first starts with the fact that as human beings, we were created in the image of God, right? And we know that God is love. And in order for love to exist, it has to have another person to express that love towards. Like, love can't just exist with one person.
Right.
You need someone to express that love. So John 3:16, the most common verse in the Bible, which says, God so loved the world that he gave.
Right.
So his expression of love was giving.
Right.
And so the fact that we were made in the image of God, we were made to reflect this love as well. Right. God is love. 1 John 4 verse 8 defines him as love. And if we were made in his image, then we are also made with that need to love as well. And with that need to love, it means that we need relationship, because we need other people in order to express this love.
Right.
So going back to the very beginning, you see with Adam, when he was made, his first contact with someone else was with who? It was with God, right?
Yeah.
Even before another human being, his first contact, his first opportunity to express love and live in relationship was in the context of his relationship with God. So we see that that's the very basic element of relationship, is relationship with God. As human beings, that's the basic element. If you don't have that, there's no way you're going to fulfill your need for relationship if you don't have relationship with God. No matter how many people you sleep with, how many people you connect with on chat, roulette, or whatever, it's not going to fill the most basic need for a relationship with God. And then on the other level, relationship with another human being. Because God saw Adam, right? That he was alone. And God said it was not good for him to be alone. So even with the relationship with God, God saw that this was not good. He still needed relationship with other human beings, and so God made Eve. And she fulfilled that need for a friend as well as a spouse. And so we see that the reason why we have this need for relationship is because we were made in the image of God, the image of love. And in order for love to express itself, it needs community in order to express itself.
So are we saying then, though, that people who don't have a true understanding of who God is, or don't believe that there is a God, cannot experience full love?
No, they can't.
I think their view might be a little bit warped, or it might not reach the ideal.
Right.
But they, God is still loving, and they'll still, get to experience some type of relationship, the love that you get from friends, from a spouse, etc.
You can, but it will not be to the full extent of
be
what
the ideal.
the full, the truest fulfillment of that need cannot come if you don't have relationship with God.
I agree.
That's the most fundamental.
I think also, and you quoted Genesis 1:27, right? That God said, "Let us make man in our image." And when God said, "Let us make man in our image," that was plural. The word man was plural. So he was referring to more than just one man. Let us make humankind in our image. And when God said, let us, he's referring to himself as plural as well.
Yes.
And so the reason God created man to reflect his image, in order for us to reflect his image as human beings, we must experience God in community.
Right.
Because God has always existed in community. And if God has always existed in community, then for us to reflect his image the way we are intended to, we must also experience God in community. And I think that changes our whole perspective on viewing relationships, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a mother-father relationship, whether it's a husband-wife relationship. It just changes it because we recognize that the reason I have this longing, the reason I have this desire to connect with people, to be with people, to not be alone, is because I bear within me somewhere deep down inside of me the image of God. And that image of God is crying out for community. It's crying out for something that's authentic, for something that's real. And therefore, every relationship that I experience in life is merely a reflection. As dim as that reflection is, it's merely a reflection of the kind of relationship that God has in community. And that once we recognize that, then we can view relationships as something that is an awesome privilege. Because in relationships, in the right context, we can experience the image of God.
Now, is it the, do you guys think it's the, the chat roulette and the Facebook, relationships that itself, like through chat roulette, is that what's bad, like in terms of like that, the existence of that system or whatever? Or is it, our mentality towards that, the way we use those things, the way we use Facebook, the way we use chat roulette or whatever else is out there? Is it the way we use it, or is it that system itself? You see what I mean? Like, is it that that's damaging us, or are we abusing it?